come to the bold analysis. Okia Omtata is a walking dossier. And there is a dossier that no one seems to be paying attention to. But I don't think I will let it go. On my end, I'll have to really pay a lot of attention to it. There are two things. Okia Omtata is telling the country that we have overpaid the debts in an excess of 3 trillion. That is number one. Number two is that even the current budget we are doing, that we're being told we want to pay the debts, those debts are miscalculated, and maybe it is part of an allocation that might find its way into people's pockets. That is what I called the wastage conduit. Yes, it's a conduit for siphoning the public resources so that they can irrigate the leaders' throats. Very unfortunate. He's saying that, and I think I listened to that interview. For those who watched the Spice FM interview, I really watched that interview, and you follow up and you'll realize that indeed something is not adding up. And there is a whistleblower from Afya House, from the Ministry of Health, that also challenged the members of parliament that before you pass the finance bill, you should re-scrutinize and audit the country's debt statements. Can you know which debts are we paying, and are they really, is it a true representation of the debts? This is because there is a very dangerous motive, something that has been happening in this country, that when we take those foreign debts, we normally find a way of stashing them in some foreign accounts, the Pandora boxes. We find a way of stashing them there. Then it may not get into the Kenyan, even into the Kenyan economy. And that dossier is very important. Okia Omtata also made it clear that a section of Kenya Kwanza MPs and even leaders and civil servants are secretly supporting his litigation of the finance bill in the Supreme Court. The reality is that even some judges who are also supposed to suffer the cuts that are being proposed in the bill are really not for the finance bill. So this is something that is going on, but I think let's get soundbite from Okia Omtata first.
The impact is just basically somebody is trying to remove the industrial base of this country. People are going to be, businesses are going to move out. The country is going to be very expensive and unproductive. Businesses are going to move out, and that threatens the right to socio-economic rights in Article 43. So these are threats that are discernible and are available. You look at Section 33 of the tax, which reclassifies agricultural inputs into agriculture from zero VAT to exempt, and that is going to raise the cost of doing business. The farmers, now if farmers can't produce, and you see a big part of the country are peasants, you want to get these peasants onto the street because they can't produce. They produce, they feed themselves, they don't disturb anybody else. Now you're going to make sure that these peasants are unable to produce and are going to end up on the streets. So you cannot allow those kind of things to happen. Section 78 and 79 of the bill.
And that is what he's saying. In fact, in another interview, I think Okia Omtata was confirming that even some members of parliament have sent him cash money as a moral support towards the bill. Even though, if you ask me, I think even civil society organizations are, quite a number of people are behind it. It's not something new, and even William Ruto knows very well that the BBA bill was fought by a concerted effort of the then opposition leader, William Ruto, who was a deputy president, who turned opposition leader, who formed a very a cocoon with the civil society organizations. So when the president realized that, and the headline, the discussion seems to have changed, and they've reacted to the bill saying that the bill is likely to be amended to include the opinions of other Kenyans. So that bill is to be presented in Parliament, but the president have then softened his stand on this bill, despite of taking months, taking weeks and days, just thumping and having a headline stand that come what, come may, that bill must pass in Parliament without a comma or a full stop. You know, that's the truth. That the president reacted saying the bill is likely to be commended. So that position has changed. And that is what I want to tell you. The secret behind it. And people are asking, it has to. And you know, before I say that, I need to explain something. The finance bill, if it is to be amended, Kenyans reacted to differently. But there was one thing that was a trap, the 3% housing levy. That is the only problem. Even the 16% VAT was an issue. So if it is to be amended, I think the country is going to pay close attention into what is not being touched. The other one, if it is scaled down, that will be one, and Kenyans will say our voices have been heard. But then, how about the rest? We'll still get back to this. So we are really paying close attention to see how that will play out. There are three reasons why William Ruto did not have any option out. Litigation creates bumps on the government system, especially when you realize that even some people around you are supporting the court system, the litigation. Even some people, there are those who are civil servants, even staunch supporters, because even it cuts across all of us. There is no supermarket for UDA, there is no supermarket for Kenya Kwanza. There is no supermarket for a Luhya, a Kikuyu, a Luo, or a Mijikenda, or a Teso. There is no, it cuts across. So even amongst William Ruto's, in the William Ruto's circle, there are those who did not support it. And he has realized one, that how about if the litigation goes on and at the Attorney General's office, they do not present a very competent team to defend government, and government loses. You know, that has been happening. It's not something new. And I think even the president admitted at one point that has been happening. So we need to agree that litigation is not a way. Government always lose. And there are a lot of resources on paying lawyers who are defending government in court. It's normally not a very easy ride, and someone will tell you. William Ruto and the State House team realized the judiciary has known very well. Finance bill has set Kenyans against William Ruto or against the state. And Kenyans are asking, where are we going to get help? Parliament is already in contact with the National Assembly. Parliament is together with William Ruto. That's the truth. So there's no way. It's already been captured by the executive, and so there was only one arm remaining. That is the judiciary. Who knows? Judiciary might redeem their image by using that bill to redeem their image. And someone should, on that thought, something has just crossed my mind. Why is it that Martha Koome did not come to the national prayer breakfast? She was invited, number one, but to remember there was already a backlash at the Jamhuri Day. Maybe she did not want to make a public appearance because she was highly ridiculed for using a very huge machine, Gazla, the Toyota machine, while Kenyans are really languishing in absolute poverty, or while we are crying about poor state of the economy. But the CJ cruised a very big machine in Embu. So could it be the reason why she was avoiding public? I never saw representation from the judiciary. There was representation from the executive and the parliament, but judiciary, it was not well represented. Maybe I can go and relook, but I did not see Chief Justice there. So judiciary might use that bill to hit the president under the belt. Lastly, Azimio anti-tax protest is gathering momentum and it can stall government. So William Ruto knows very well that Raila Odinga is sitting quiet on the other side, not because they don't want to comment, but because they are waiting for you to falter. That's the truth. They're waiting for you, they're waiting for the bill to pass. And after the bill is passed, then they will come for you. So that is well back. So he's also trying to create a situation because he knows very well that not the bill, I've already said the bill is going to pass because I have a majority. Anyway, it has to pass. No one has a contention of whether it is passing or failing. The only question is what is in it. So the question of whether it is going to pass or fail is neither here nor there, because we all know that William Ruto has bought a majority, some members of parliament from minority side, and they're on the majority side, and they're likely going to vote for the bill. So that is not in contention. The only thing that is in contention in this whole question, in this whole bill question, is about the contents. And he has known that because Azimio are plotting for maybe a mass action against these tax proposals, against the finance bill, he is already trying to soften grounds so that he will also find a defense on this and maybe cooling the tempers. And I want to believe the reason why Azimio leaders were invited for the prayer breakfast was to create some dummy handshake, people greeting and then carrying the whole story out to talk of a handshake, or rather to soften the ground. And that would be used to smoothen MPs, throats of MPs, so that they can support the finance bill. So I do honestly believe that that is why the president has softened her stand on this. There was no option. You cannot force it on people. If you have design, you need to design a residential space or a commercial room, then you don't need to look elsewhere, because Kwango Art and Design are amazing in terms of designs, and they are specialists in interior design. We are talking about tiling. We are talking about doing wardrobes, the walls, the TV displaying units, granite kitchen, and other designs, office partitioning, office reception, desks, furniture, and other commercial spaces design or even build. Reach out to them and you are going to be sorted. Their number is +254 710 444 353 07 +254 710 444 353. And with Kwang Arts and Design, your design demands are already sorted. So check out, contact them, and I believe that you will be sorted.